I want you to meet Jackson Weiss. He's a student at Drexel University from Flourtown, Pennsylvania, registered Republican, says he's leaning toward voting for you, but has yet to make a final decision. Jackson?
Thank you, Anderson.
Hey, Jackson.
Thank you for taking the time to be here, too, Vice President
You too.
Harris.
Thank you.
Regarding the rapid increase in the migrant population, how will you ensure that every immigrant is integrated into American society safely? What benefits and subsidies will you provide them with? And how long will these benefits and subsidies last for an individual? Most importantly, will the American citizens' taxes pay for these benefits and subsidies? And if so, how much money will be allocated?
What an amazing question. You can tell he put a lot of thought into it.
Well, thank you, Jackson. Let's start with this. America's immigration system is broken, and it needs to be fixed. And it's been broken for a long time. And part of what we need to do is always prioritize what we need to do to strengthen our border. I will tell you, I'm the only person in this race among the two choices that voters have. I've personally prosecuted transnational criminal organizations in the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I have spent a significant part of my career making sure that our border is secure and that we do not allow criminals in and we don't allow that kind of trafficking to happen and come into our country. And as my opponent has proven himself, he would prefer to run on the problem instead of fix the problem. You may know there were some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress working with others that came up with a border security bill that would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border. Those border agents are overwhelmed. They need the support. They need the backup. It would have allowed us to have more resources to stem the flow of fentanyl. I don't need to tell this state and people around the country what is happening in terms of the scourge of fentanyl and how it is literally killing Americans. It would have put resources into stemming the flow. It would have given more resources to prosecute, to investigate and prosecute transnational criminal organizations. It would have done a lot of good. Donald Trump got wind of the bill and told them, don't put it forward. He killed the bill because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
This is like an episode of Black Mirror.
We have to have a secure border, and we have to have a comprehensive pathway for citizenship. And that includes requiring people, hardworking people, to earn citizenship and do it in a comprehensive, humane, and orderly manner.
Let me ask you about that. I mean, you talk about the bill.
What was the question again? I mean, this was a very detailed, thought-out question, and she didn't answer the question. And Cooper lets her off the hook here because I'm pretty sure he knows that she didn't answer the question either. What's going on?
That Donald Trump quashed, that was in 2020.
Let me rewind that a little bit. Sorry.
For citizenship.
And
that includes requiring people, hardworking people, to earn citizenship and do it in a comprehensive, humane, and orderly manner.
Let me ask you about that. I mean, you talk about the bill that Donald Trump quashed, that was in 2024. You talk about the bill he tried to get passed in 2021. That wasn't able to get passed. 2022, 2023, there were record border crossings. Your administration took hundreds of executive actions. It didn't stem the flow. Numbers kept going up. Finally, in 2024, just in June, 3 weeks before the first presidential debate with Joe Biden, you institute executive actions that had a dramatic impact, really shut down people crossing over. Why didn't your administration do that in 2022, 2023?
First of all, you're exactly right, Anderson. And as of today, we have cut the flow of immigration by over half. In fact, the numbers I saw most recently, illegal immigration
But if
is
it was
low.
that easy with that
finish.
executive action, why not do it in 2022, 2023?
Because we were working with Congress and hoping that actually we could have a long-term fix to the problem instead of a short-term fix.
You couldn't have done one and both at the same time?
Well, here's the thing. We have to understand.
So CNN is putting pressure on Kamala Harris, and this tells me that maybe this is their way of abandoning ship and responding to all of the criticism about them being a biased network, as far as in the way they're reporting, instead of being neutral, the way the media is supposed to be, so that it's safe for the public. You don't want a biased media. That's what I'm picking up. You guys let me know if you think different in the comment section.
Have cut the flow of immigration by over half. In fact, the numbers I saw most recently, illegal immigration
But if
is
it was
low.
that
But hold
easy
on, let
with
me
that
finish.
executive action, why not do it in 2022, 2023?
They're cutting bait.
Because we were working with Congress and hoping that actually we could have a long-term fix to the problem instead of a short-term fix.
You couldn't have done one and both at the same time?
Well, here's the thing. We have to understand that ultimately this problem is going to be fixed through congressional action. Congress has the authority and the purse. I'd hate to use DC terms, but literally they write the checks.
If it's one thing that Kamala has taught me, and I appreciate this new gift, is when someone asks me something and I don't want to answer it, I just start talking about something else. All right. I've become really good at that from watching her interviews.
Part of the issue is in order to really fix the problem at the border. I was just at the border recently talking with border agents. You know what they talk about? Yes, they are overwhelmed. They're working around the clock. And the other thing that they talk to me about, we need more judges down there to deal with asylum claims. We need more personnel down there to deal with processing. But Anderson, and that's where Congress kicks in terms of dedicating the resources to actually fixing the problem.
We need more emotion in our voice.
We have dealt with it such that, to your point, we now, as of today, as of our visit, have lower undocumented immigrants and illegal immigration than Trump when he left office.
That's true.
But we need a permanent solution, and that requires bipartisan work.
Do you wish you'd done those executive orders in 2022?
Oh, she ain't gonna answer that, buddy.
2023.
I think we did the right thing, but the best thing that can happen for the American people is that we have bipartisan work happening, and I pledge to you that I will work across the aisle to fix this long-standing problem. I think the American people are demanding it on both sides of the aisle, and it's time we actually put the partisan approach to this aside. We know what can work.
Well, let's talk about this compromise bill that you want to pass if you're elected. You said that's going to be a priority. It includes $650 million in funding for the border wall. That's something Republicans wanted. That was part of the compromise. Under Donald Trump, you criticized the wall more than 50 times. You called it stupid, useless, and a medieval vanity project.
Well, damn. Let's see how she spins this one.
The border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall.
Since you brought up Trump, let's talk about Trump again.
So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on, they didn't. How much of that wall did he build? I think the last number I saw is about 2%. And then when it came time for him to do a photo op, you know where he did it? In the part of the wall that President Obama built.
But you're agreeing to a bill that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill to further strengthen and secure our border. Yes, I am. And I'm going to work across the aisle to pass a comprehensive bill that deals with a broken immigration system. I think Jackson's question, part of it was to acknowledge that America has always had migration, but there needs to be a legal process for it. People have to earn it. And that's the point that I think is the most important point that can be made, which is we need a president who is grounded in common sense and practical outcomes. Like, let's just fix this thing. Let's just fix it. Why is there any ideological perspective on this? Let's just fix the problem.
I'm about to watch Black Mirror again.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I am not afraid of good ideas where they occur, Anderson.
So you don't think it's stupid anymore?
It's nothing to be ashamed of to admit you were wrong. That's part of leadership. Okay, she didn't show up to the roast because she didn't, it doesn't show that she's a good sportsman that can take a joke and dish them out, that type of thing. You have to be thick-skinned to be the president of the United States. How is this newscaster more stoic than her? She's been emotional the entire speech, okay? And to be clear thinking, sometimes you have to put that emotion aside and think logically. This may be also why she can't answer a question.
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything. I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually do much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
So, to say the least, this was a missed opportunity for Kamala Harris to basically be transparent with her voters. Okay. I think this was very, very telling on how forthright she's been in pretty much every interview that she's had, where she's just repeated and recycled the same talking points that she studied. She's not being transparent. She's not being real. And then also I noticed that when given the opportunity to show some humility, to show some accountability, because part of being a leader is being able to admit when you're wrong or that you could have done something better, which I notice every time she's asked this question, she always doubles down on not taking accountability, which means if you don't take accountability, then you don't have the ability to become better, to improve, because you must first acknowledge that there was an issue before you can correct it. And I haven't seen her do that yet. So that's also pretty scary for someone that's running for the president of the United States, and the irony is this is the same thing that she's accusing Trump of is, once he becomes president, he's not going to relinquish power, which he already did prior. But in this case, you can't admit that, you guys made some mistakes. What type of leadership is that? That's not leadership. So, yeah, this was a crazy turn of events to see CNN actually press Kamala Harris worse than anybody I've seen. All right. Worse than anybody I've seen. And you want to see how your leaders are going to act under pressure, because this should be a cakewalk, especially when you're going to be talking to other world leaders and the decisions you have to make. I like my leaders cool, calm, collected, and quick thinking and logical. Okay. Now, we don't get all of those with Trump. All right. I'm not saying that he's the greatest option. To be honest with you, I'm not ecstatic about either of these options because they divide people in such a nasty way. But some things are just really, really obvious to me that it's scary. And it's scary that someone this, let me be nice. It's scary that it's coming to this. I'll just say that. I won't be nice. All right. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you like this type of content and want me to do more commentary, like the video, leave a comment of what you think below, and hope you guys have a great day. Peace.